about 2:19 this morning, Metro Communications received a call from the casino security saying they were having a disturbance with probably in his 30s there. And as Nitro Police Department responded, then they became involved with in a foot pursuit. And then the suspect made it to a vehicle, and a vehicle pursuit ensued. The pursuit went from the casino there down to Lincoln County on 119, and then at some point the suspect turned around and headed back this way up I-77, and stop sticks were deployed. And about the 132 mile marker, the suspect exited the vehicle, and refusing to obey commands, then shots were fired, and the suspect died as a result of the wounds that he received.
Now, you were saying before this man was determined to get away. He wasn't stopping at anything. Tell me about that.
No, you know, I mean, you can see here, look back on it and see the pattern here. I mean, there was a disturbance and a foot pursuit, and then a vehicle pursuit in which he tried to ram cruisers and show just a willful disregard to the safety of others out here, and steering towards other vehicles, and then such a long pursuit, and still not obeying commands when he got out of the vehicle here. You know, here's an adult that made a conscious decision, and unfortunately it had tragic consequences for him.
What was the initial disturbance? Because I know there was a foot pursuit initially. What was he doing that started the chase?
Yeah, I really don't have any information on that right now at this time. The investigation's continuing. We just know that we did receive a disturbance call, and it resulted in, like I said, the foot pursuit and then the vehicle pursuit. And there were multiple agencies involved in this. Nitro PD, of course, was the initial agency. Dunbar Police Department, Charleston Police Department, South Charleston Police Department, Kanawha County Sheriff's Department, Jackson County Sheriff's Department, State Police. So, I mean, it just shows you this is not a typical pursuit. Someone who maybe tries to get away from the police and realizes that they can't, and then they give themselves up. This man was determined to get away, and he obviously didn't care who may be hurt as a result of that. And so, unfortunately, this is how it ended.
A lot of resources put into this too, from you guys.
There were. You know, as with anything, whether it's West Virginia State Police or any other law enforcement agency in West Virginia, we're going to respond with the resources that we have available, because it's a matter of public safety. We can't have someone out here on the road behaving in this manner, put people's lives at risk. You know, we have not only a duty but an obligation to stop people from terrorizing society in this way.
Do you know if he pulled anything on the officers or anything like that?
Well, we're just not prepared at this time to get into the specifics of it. The family still hasn't been notified, and right now our main priorities are taking control of the crime scene, getting the evidence that we need, and then notifying the family. And when we're prepared to release the name after the family's been notified, we hope to have more details that we can release.
Do you know if this guy was known to police in any way?
I don't know. Don't know anything about his personal or criminal history, if there is one.
How many people or how many officers were involved actually in firing, or the number of shots? Do you know that at this point?
I know the investigators have a very good idea of what happened, but at this time they haven't had the opportunity to brief me. As you can see here behind us, they're still collecting evidence and still taking statements and taking control of the scene.
I guess there is something good to come out of this, that not one police officer or first driver was hurt. I mean, anything could have happened. What's that like to know that everyone is okay?
Well, you know, I'm laying there in bed this morning like many of these other officers were, and you get that phone call that there's been a critical incident, and your heart just skips a beat there for a minute. And, it's an awful feeling, and it is a great relief when you hear that no officers or no one in the public had been harmed in any way, that the suspect is the only one who received any injuries, and it just makes you feel so much better to know that those officers are able to go home to their family after an incident like this.
As far as the stop goes itself, when he stopped the vehicle, what happened then?
When the vehicle came to a stop here at the 132 mile marker and the driver exited the vehicle, commands were given as they are with any felony traffic stop. And the suspect, like I said, he'd already shown that he wasn't willing to obey any commands or to listen to law enforcement or authority at all. And he refused to obey those commands, and unfortunately the officers had to stop the immediate threat that was there in front of him.